If you're planning to choose between the Tecno Pop 10 and the Redmi A5, stop for a second, because when you check the specs, they look almost identical. Same processor, almost the same features. But yes, what most people don't realize, choosing the wrong one here is very easy. And that mistake, you'll notice later. So before you decide, let's break it down properly. And if you actually like to know the truth and real difference between the Redmi A5 and the Tecno Pop 10, make sure to subscribe now. Now let's start with what they have in common. Both the Redmi A5 and the Tecno Pop 10 come with the same Unisoc T7250 processor. Now, hearing that might not mean much, but in real life, it simply means both phones behave very similar when it comes to normal use. If you're opening WhatsApp, checking Facebook, scrolling TikTok, both phones handle that without stress. But the moment you start pushing it a bit, like opening multiple apps and switching quickly, that's when you notice a small delay. Not something that makes the phone unstable, but that lightweight feeling is present on both sides. Now, looking at the battery, the Redmi A5 comes with a 5200 mAh battery, while the Tecno Pop 10 has a standard 5000 mAh battery. On paper, that looks like a difference, but in real life, both of them will comfortably last you a full day. From morning use to evening scrolling, you won't really feel a big gap between them. Even the front camera is the same story, but it comes with an 8 megapixel front camera. In real life, that simply means your selfie will be decent, good enough for video calls and social media, but not something that will impress you too much, especially in low light condition. Both of them will struggle. And when it comes to unlocking your phone, it gives you a side-mounted fingerprint sensor and face unlock. In real life, you mostly use the fingerprints, and thankfully on both phones, it works very fast enough without frustration. So at this point, you might be thinking, okay, so is this phone basically the same? Not really, because now, this is where the real difference starts showing. Let's start with the camera, because this is where many people make mistakes. The Redmi A5 comes with a 32 megapixel rear camera, while the Tecno Pop 10 uses a 13 megapixel rear camera. Now, forget numbers for a second. Imagine you take a picture outside in a good lighting condition. The Redmi A5 gives you a sharper image with more detail. When you zoom into that picture, it still holds its quality. But on the Tecno Pop 10, once you zoom in, you'll start noticing that the details are not as clear as much. So if you like taking pictures for WhatsApp status or social media, the Redmi A5 will give you a better result. Now let's talk about the display. This is something you interact with every single day. The Redmi A5 comes with a higher refresh rate display, up to 120Hz, while the Tecno Pop 10 is more of a standard display. What that means in real life is simple. When you are scrolling through TikTok or Facebook, the Redmi A5 feels smoother and more fluid. Everything just moves better. Tecno Pop 10 is not that bad, but it feels somehow, more normal. And once your eyes adjust to that smoother feel, it's very hard to ignore the difference. Now when it comes to design and how the phone feels in your hand, this is where preference comes in. The Tecno Pop 10 feels more compact and stylish, easier to hold up for a long period of time, while the Redmi A5 feels bigger and more solid in the hand. So here, it depends on what you like. Now software, both phones runs on Android Go edition, but with different styles on top. In real life, the Redmi A5 feels a bit cleaner and more straightforward, while the Tecno Pop 10 gives you a bit more customization. So it's really about simplicity versus extra feature. And finally, the storage and RAM. Both phones offer similar options, like 3GB of RAM or 4GB of RAM version, with storage up to 128GB of internal storage. In real life, that's enough for normal usage, but if you install a lot of apps or keep many things running, you start feeling the limits on both. So let's make this very simple. If you want a phone that gives you better pictures, smoother scrolling, and a slightly better overall experience, the Redmi A5 is the better choice. But if you just want something basic that works, and you prefer design of the Tecno Pop 10, then it will still do a good job. So no, they are not the same phone. They may look similar when you check the specs, but in real life, the experience is different, and that difference is what you feel every single day. Now, before you go, wait for a second. Have you subscribed to this channel? If you haven't done so, what's stopping you? It's completely free. Click that subscribe button below, because next I'm going to show you budget phones that are even better than this, and honestly, most people don't even know about them. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.